The exploration vessel Astra 9 moved slowly through the silent Sol system. Its engines hummed softly, careful not to disturb a graveyard of forgotten world. For 500,000 years, Earth had been silent. No signals, no ships, no life. In the galactic archives, the planet was marked with a single word: extinct. Captain Ref watched the blue sphere grow larger on the main screen. Clouds still moved across its surface. Oceans shimmered in reflected starlight. Cities stood along the continents, dark and untouched by time. It did not look dead. Maintain orbit, he ordered. Inside the sensor bay, a young officer leaned forward, frowning at her console. "Captain, I'm detecting power signatures." The bridge fell silent. "That is impossible," Ref said calmly. "Run the scan again." Her hands trembled as she complied. Readings confirmed. Energy pulses deep beneath the Pacific Ocean. Moments later, a holographic projection formed above the central table. Layers of ocean and rock peeled away, revealing something buried far below. Rows, lines, perfect formations. Thousands of objects rested beneath the seafloor. The officer whispered, "They look like ships, not ruins, not wreckage. Warships, ancient, massive, sleeping." Captain Reth stared in disbelief. "This is not a graveyard," he murmured. "This is an armory." Suddenly, alarms flashed across every console. An unknown signal surged through the Astra 9 systems. The translation course struggled, then stabilized. A message appeared on every screen. Identity confirmed. Non-human. Defense protocol standby mode ending. Outside the viewport, the stars seemed to flicker. Deep beneath Earth's oceans, something enormous began to wake. And the crew of Astra 9 realized they were no longer alone. An O1 spoke on the bridge of the Astra 9. The message still glowed on every screen. Defense protocol standby mode ending. Captain Ref forced himself to breathe slowly. "Hold position," he said. "Do not transmit. Do not move." Outside the ship, Earth turned quietly beneath them, blue and calm, as if nothing had changed. But everything had. "Captain," the navigation officer said softly, "ancient data archives are unlocking in our system." "That is not possible," Reth replied. "Those files were sealed by the Galactic Council. Yet the files were opening, one by one, without permission." A warning symbol flashed across the display. "Restricted history, human conflict era." The crew watched as old records filled the holographic space above the command table. Images appeared, stars burning, worlds shattered, fleets reduced to drifting metal. A war unlike any other in recorded history. "The Human Extinction War," the science officer whispered. Half the galaxy burned. Long ago, humans had fought an enemy so powerful that entire civilizations vanished. When the war ended, Earth went silent. No signals, no survivors, no trace of the species that had once terrified the stars. The Council declared the world dead and sealed all records. Forbidden, dangerous, forgotten, until now. A final classified file forced itself open. Text scrolled slowly across the projection. Project, final contingency. Status, completed. Purpose, planetary defense and species preservation. The bridge lights dimmed as another energy surge pulsed from the planet below. The ocean surface began to glow faintly, and beneath the clouds of Earth, something vast shifted in the darkness. The sleeping fleet was not abandoned. It had been waiting that a deep vibration rolled to the hull of the Astra 9. It was not an attack. It was a signal. Energy output rising across the entire planet. The sensor officer reported, levels increasing by the second. Below them, the Pacific Ocean shimmered with faint blue light. At first it looked like moonlight beneath the waves. Then the light grew brighter. The surface of the water began to move, not with waves, with purpose. The crew watched in silence as a massive circle formed in the ocean, hundreds of kilometers wide. Steam rose into the air as the water inside the circle slowly sank downward, as if the sea itself were being pulled away. "What could cause that?" someone whispered. No one answered. From the depths, a shape emerged. Dark metal broke the surface. Then another, and another. Towering structures rose from the ocean floor, pushing millions of tons of water aside. Their surfaces were smooth and black, untouched by rust, untouched by time. They were not rising randomly. They were rising in formation. The tactical officer stared at the scale grid. Each vessel is larger than our flagship. More shapes emerged behind them, rows stretching beyond the horizon. An entire fleet awakening from the deep. Lights ignited across their hulls, white lines glowing like veins of energy. Antenna spires unfolded. Weapon arrays rotated into position. Shield fields flickered faintly into existence. Then smaller objects launched from the rising giants. Hundreds of sleek drones spread outward, forming a silent perimeter around Earth. One of them stopped directly in front of the Astra 9. A calm mechanical voice filled the bridge. Unidentified vessel remained stationary. Captain Reth did not move, because for the first time in his career, he understood they were not explorers here. They were intruders. The drone outside the Astra 9 held its position, silent and unmoving. Its surface reflected the blue glow of Earth below, smooth like dark glass. No weapons were visible, yet every officer on the bridge felt the same quiet certainty. It did not need to display power. It was power. "Maintain stillness," Captain Reth ordered. No one argued. Across every console, a new transmission began to form. Unlike the previous alert, this signal carried structured language patterns. Calm, precise, deliberate. The translation core activated automatically. A voice filled the ship. It was steady, human, neither male nor female. Recorded yet alive with purpose. If you are receiving this message, you are not human. Human civilization no longer occupies the surface of Earth. This world is under autonomous protection. The crew listened without breathing. Outside, the warships continued to rise, their lights glowing brighter as clouds drifted slowly around their massive hulls. The message continued. This defense network was created during the final days of the Extinction War. Its purpose: to protect Earth, preserve human life, and prevent hostile occupation. Unknown vessels are permitted observation. Hostile action will be met with immediate neutralization. A pause followed. Even the hum of the Astra 9 seemed to fade. Then the final line arrived. Humanity is absent. Humanity is not defenseless. The transmission ended. Silence returned to the bridge. Beyond the viewport, thousands of warships hovered above the ocean, perfectly still, like guardians that had never slept. Then the drone in front of them pulsed once with soft white light. A silent warning. A silent permission. Captain Reth stared at the fleet and understood. Earth was not abandoned. It was protected. Captain Reth knew the discovery could not remain secret. "Transmit full report to Galactic Command," he said quietly. The communications officer hesitated. "Captain, if the defense network detects a wide transmission..." "Use tight beam relay," Reth replied. "Minimal energy spread." Seconds later, the report left the Astra 9, carrying images of the rising war fleet, the defensive drones, and the human message. The signal crossed the stars, and the galaxy reacted. Within minutes, emergency channels opened across the Galactic Council network. Leaders, admirals, and intelligence directors appeared in floating projections, their voices overlapping in alarm. That fleet exceeds all known military capacity. Human extinction was confirmed. Those ships could conquer entire sectors. Some demanded immediate containment. Others demanded retreat. A few older delegates sat in silence, their expressions dark with memory. One elder finally spoke. 500,000 years ago, we did not defeat humanity. We survived them." The chamber fell quiet. Back above Earth, more vessels continued to rise from the oceans. Orbital platforms unfolded like metal petals. Defense satellites activated in precise rings around the planet. The tactical officer aboard the Astra 9 ran new calculations. "Captain, estimated combat strength now exceeds combined fleets of the inner systems." No one spoke. Then another alert arrived. Multiple foreign warships had entered the outer edge of the Sol system, drawn by the Astra 9's report. Some came in fear. Some came in curiosity. Some came with weapons armed. The drone outside the Astra 9 shifted slightly. as if listening to distant footsteps. On the main display, Earth's defense grid brightened. Thousands of targeting vectors appeared and locked onto the incoming ships. Captain Ref felt a chill. The fleet had waited 500,000 years, and it was ready. The bridge lights dimmed as Earth's defense grid intensified. Across the tactical display, thousands of targeting markers tracked the approaching foreign warships at the edge of the Sol system. No weapons had fired. No warnings were spoken. Yet the meaning was clear. Do not come closer. On the Astra 9, no one moved. The drone outside remained still, its faint white glow pulsing like a steady heartbeat. Then the sensors changed. "Captain," the science officer whispered, "I am detecting new signals originating beneath the planet's surface." Ref turned slowly. "Energy?" "No," she replied. "Life support systems." The holographic projection shifted, slicing through layers of crust and bedrock. Deep below the continents, vast chambers appeared, sealed vaults hidden far beneath the earth. One chamber flickered, then another, lights turning on after 500,000 years of darkness. Cryogenic indicators activated across the display. Heartbeat rhythms, metabolic readings, human biological signatures. The bridge fell into stunned silence. A new transmission spread across every channel in the system, not directed at the Astra 9 alone, but broadcast into space itself. Continuity protocol engaged. Human preservation vaults reactivating. Atmospheric restoration within acceptable parameters. Outside, the war fleet shifted formation, moving into higher orbit as if making room for something yet to come. Captain Ref felt the weight of history pressing against the stars. Earth had not built a tomb. It had built a shield. And beneath that shield, protected by ocean, steel, and time, humanity was beginning to wake. Far beyond the system's edge, the approaching fleet slowed. Across the galaxy, a single truth spread in silence. Earth was never dead. It was waiting,